and lifestyle.
Hello, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to Faith and Lifestyle with Kate Ogok. Today we are going to be discussing something quite intriguing that concerns parents directly. So we'll be talking today about give your children a decent upbringing. Give your children a decent upbringing. My dear friends, sometime in 2023, the news about three teenage girls who beat up their friends, went viral. And these three girls, remember I said they were teenagers, they caught their friend, another girl who was also their age, caught that girl and got her well beaten. But the bad part about it is that they used a blade, and inflicted a lot of wounds on their victim's body. They tore her body, they, mutilated her, and went as far as even mutilating her vagina. It this act sent shock waves, in the hearts and minds of parents, and it was seriously condemned by everybody. Now, what happened when these teenagers were intercepted and taken to custody? They were interviewed, and what did they say? They said the victim was dating their friend's boyfriend. I mean, these are children who are between 13 and 16. And they said the victim was dating their friend's boyfriend. And so they decided to punish her. And that is what they did. It was such a bad influence, to other young girls that this particular act was seriously condemned by many parents, especially mothers. Unfortunately, their victim did not survive. She succumbed to the infected wounds, that she got from that beating, and she gave up the ghost. My dear friends, today we are discussing bringing up your children in a decent manner. Yes, bringing up your children in a decent manner. You see, such behaviors like what I have just narrated will usually be taken back to the home, and those who will be blamed are usually the mothers. I remember when I was growing up, they used to always say this lack of home upbringing. They will always say, oh, lack of home training. And most often, just imagine that a little girl will just be passing and, doesn't greet an adult who is around the person. And then that adult will say, come here. Didn't you see me? Do you lack home training? So everybody expects parents to train their children. Training cannot be gotten in school. Training cannot be gotten from the society. Training begins at home. Dear friends, when we talk of bringing up your children in a decent manner, we want to look at what Proverbs says. Proverbs chapter 22, verse 6 instructs every Christian parent to bring up their children in a God-fearing manner. They usually tell us that we should bring up the child in the fear of the Lord, and when the child grows up, they will not depart from it. Yes, I know that as parents, we do our best, but our best is not always the best because there are many parents today who are so busy and they leave the upbringing of their children to, in Africa, they will leave those children to relatives who live with them, to nannies, and in more developed countries, they leave the upbringing of those children to television and social media. I tell you, my friends, today it is so bad. If you are not there to raise your child, then social media will raise your child for you. Things have gotten so bad to the point that if a child wants to do something, a little boy is experiencing maturity and his father is not there to talk to him and tell him what's going on. He goes to ChatGPT and just says, what is going on in my body? and ChatGPT tells him what is going on. And remember, all those social media influences are garbage in, garbage out. So they will only give that child what they have. Dear parents, we need to be more involved in our children's upbringing. We need to make these children know that there is a God who is, all knowing. And when you take your children to the rightful upbringing in the way of the Lord, these children will grow up and will not depart from it. I know that many of us parents will say, you deliver a child, you don't deliver the child's heart. I agree with you. When you deliver a child, you don't deliver the child's heart. But you must instill some good attitudes in that child's mind so that when the child grows up, the child will remember those things. I want to tell you that even when you talk to your child and the child doesn't listen, that doesn't mean that the child is not keeping it. Tomorrow, that child will say, "Oh, my mom used to tell me. Oh, my dad used to say, this is not the right thing to do." Yes, my dear friends, we are saying that we should not let society direct our children. We should not let social media institute bad habits in their minds. We should be involved in our children's lives. Tell every child this is what you're supposed to do. Make every child to know the difference between good and evil. Let the child know that if they do something which is not acceptable in society, there are repercussions. Like the story that we started at the beginning, these three children were held in custody. And of course, they are going to be they are going to face the law for murdering somebody. We need to get the children to know these things and make them know that the only way that they can live a decent life is to rely on the Bible, listen to their parents, do the right thing, and then God will bless them. I therefore pray that we parents will be more involved in our children's lives and will make our children know that when they are brought up well, then their lives will be better in future. Thank you very much for listening. May you continue to watch Faith and Lifestyle and don't forget to subscribe. Until we meet the next time, I say, Maneban back,